into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Makes you happy.
Yeah.
Makes you want to dance. Hey guys, thank you for joining us for Modern Family Season 6, Episode 2. I am your host, Jessie Owen, and joining me is my co-host, Steve Kaufmann.
I am. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I am. I'm definitely here.
I hope so. All right. I hope everyone's doing well. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice. A nice day.
Great.
A great show.
What'd you think of the show?
I like the show a lot. This is a very quick bottle episode. Like last week, they had to do more of a season one, like a more of a season opener where a lot of things happen. You deal with what happened. This one very much bottled, the more mundane day to day that you'd find, and that's actually what the shows I like about, or the shows in this series that I like.
Right. I thought this episode was very funny. I thought it brought out a lot of the true aspects of life, like such as our first topic, the ugly child phase. I think everybody has had an ugly child phase. I know I did. Mine was like 5th grade. I was a super photogenic kid as far as I can recall, or at least as far as I can see in pictures. Well, that's awesome because I always used to smile too big, like really big. I was cheesing it. And then my best friend at the time, actually, she taught me how to smile.
Wow.
And everyone calls it my pageant smile, my fake smile.
Your fake smile?
But it makes pictures look good.
Someone had to teach me how to sign my name once because I tried to sign my whole name and they're like, no, you S, T, and K. That's it.
Oh my gosh. That's...
Like the weird things in life that somebody has to teach you.
I know. That's very crazy.
It is crazy.
So, what did you think about Lily? Like, at first, I'm going to be honest, I thought she was kind of like forcing it. Like, it seemed like she was trying to ruin the picture just because it had showed that, she was trying to get attention by being in the picture. But, like, she was really, really, like, at one point, like, I don't even want to say what she looked like, but it was bad. It was like she was really trying to make it look bad. So, that's what I thought at first, but then her feelings got hurt, and I was like, oh, that's really sad. So I kind of agree with Claire on the whole thing. Let your kids go through the ugly phase and deal with it.
And that's really difficult to explain to a child. That it's like in 1 second of your life when we point a camera at you and turn it on, that 1 second, you don't look ideal.
Right.
You can hardly explain that to most adults, actually. That it's just like, you didn't look great in that 1 second of your entire life, where you have millions of seconds. That one, you look a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is hurtful because even like some pictures I didn't look that great in, and people have been like, oh, that's not the best picture of you. And you're like, God, that's a bummer. So I can only imagine for a child to take that in. Like, that's got to be very hard.
Well, especially because if you're a child, you've no bearing for like how you could possibly fix that problem. It's
right.
Like you turned the camera on, you said smile big. I smiled big. I can't help that's how I smile because I'm like I don't have enough mental frame of reference for what my face looks like when I do this or that or this or that. That takes time.
Right, but in the end, they definitely handled it.
Oh yes.
Just by putting up the picture. Because I mean, the older she gets, she's gonna be like, oh my God, take that down, please. Like the older she gets, so. She'll get out of it, and then one day they'll have an awesome family portrait, hopefully.
Or she'll be in the ugly or like the weird looking teenager phase, where it's like a different.
Yeah, that can happen too, but hopefully she'll just go through the awkward child phase.
Oh yeah. Well, I went through an unfortunate hairstyle choice all throughout high school. I had long hair, like a long ponytail, and I was bigger in high school, so I was literally the comic book guy. So. Although I was incredibly photogenic, I look back at all those pictures like, wow, that is the worst picture ever.
I think we all have those phases where you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I wore my hair like that. Or, like we all have our insecurities, but it's crazy how things come back into trend and stuff.
Right.
So, speaking of trends, we didn't hear anything about Haley's fashion blog. So I guess my prediction from last week has not come true yet.
That you think it's going to fail or not do well?
Well, I hope that they'll talk more about it. But at this point, after this episode, going into the next topic, I feel like Haley and Alex, we learned a lot about them, transitioning, making that transition from high school to college. And then I think obviously Alex is boy crazy, kinda, because she doesn't get a lot of guys. So that one guy pays her attention, and now all of a sudden she wants to stay home. But the point that her new friend Jason makes, I like it. He's like, don't make your life decisions based on where your parents live, because so many people are like, oh, I want to get away. I want to not stay so close to home. I personally stayed close to home. I'm kind of a family girl. But I don't know. I feel like people, they're right. People should not make their life decisions based on that.
Part of the reason the 405's clogged up every day is because a lot of people ran away from their house.
What?
Part of the reason people come to LA and therefore clog up the 405.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm a Mississippi girl, but you got to go some places for your career. You got to do that.
But not everyone does that. A lot of people come here to run away.
Right, which is a shame because family is very important, and I guess you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Pretty much.
So yeah, just cherish your family, I guess, is the saying for that. But I really loved in this episode how they brought Haley to realize, hey, she's always thought that she was the better sibling compared to Alex, But in this episode, we see that she's not so confident in that. She's really jealous that Alex is in school, which brings me to another topic. We always, in families, there's always the siblings. And a lot of the times, other siblings feel like, the younger, the older, the middle sibling is the favorite, and they get everything, and they're better than them, which is totally not true. And which... I love Modern Family's life lessons. I loved the fact that Phil, was telling Haley, you're important here. You can do this. You can do that. Which, made me realize, which I realized it a long time ago. But, even though, we're comparing ourselves to our siblings, just because you don't go to college and just because you don't do that, you do bring other things that are better than your siblings. Everybody brings different cards to the table. I probably worded that so ridiculously
that's about right.
hard.
Everyone is everyone. I'm me. I was about to be I'm me, and then you're you, and that makes everything easier. No, that's a more complicated way to explain it. But the idea that just a person will find their place in the world on their own, and the idea of comparing yourself to someone else is just not productive. That's something I learned in my 20s was just I spent a lot of time in my 20s oh, well, this person's doing this and this person's doing that and then this and then where it's just you have to take a breath of what are you doing?
Right.
Because that's the only way you're going to get anywhere is worrying about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
As much as I want to say, man, Chris Pratt, he's my type and he's everywhere now. It's well, but you're not Chris Pratt. Don't worry about what Chris Pratt's doing.
It's so funny that you say that. A good friend of mine this weekend told me if I constantly worry about other people, then I'm not focusing on myself, and I can better myself by focusing on myself. So that's another great lesson.
Also, a weird thing. A weird thing I've learned recently that was this old saying that you judge other people on their highlight reel, but you judge yourself on your blooper reel. You'll be your worst critic, and then you'll only see the best in other people.
Right.
That it's everyone else will be perfect. I've had that.
That is something good to remember. Yeah. Well, absolutely. So, anyways, we're gonna move on to the next topic. We just got really deep there. Sorry.
Reddit. Sorry. A mallard told me that.
So, we're gonna talk about Jay and Gloria. So, first question. Would you rather have someone buy you an expensive gift that you've really, really wanted and you've had your eyes on it, you were really expecting it, or surprise you with something more sentimental that, you know, related to maybe how you met or just anything sentimental?
The function would be helpful. That if it were something sentimental, like a bookmark made of like laminated ticket stubs the first time we met, like, okay, that's great. I need a bookmark as well. That's wonderful. But it's just something that'll sit on your desk. I'm like,
But he made it.
He made it, and that's cool. But like, what we learned, I would also both. I think is what we want.
By the way, we're talking about Jay and Gloria.
Jay and Gloria, we're just.
Sorry, I just assumed you knew who we were talking
about. Yeah, but I think that would be what I would want most, is the best of both worlds if possible, where it's like I know Steve would really want this iPad, but he would also want me to make a case out of a book that we both really love. Like that would be, and then he gets an iPad and he gets like a hardcover book that I carve out Shawshank style and then put the iPad in.
That's really cool. Like
those of you looking to get me a gift.
He wants an iPad? Is that what you said?
An iPad with a hard-covered book, and then you Shawshank or Prison, you pretty much just carve all the pages out and then just put the iPad in the book.
Oh. You could go on that
the book, I know.
You could go on that website and get people to donate money so you can get
I should get a Kickstarter. I should get a Kickstarter for this specific. I need a book. I need a razor blade. I need an iPad.
That's funny. I don't know. I am, gosh, I'm a sucker for sentimental things. Like, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love holidays, like birthdays and stuff, because I'm like, all that stuff that I wasn't able, or it's not that I wasn't able to purchase, but I'm really bad about not buying things for myself.
Yeah.
So, like, when those special days come up, I love it. Like Christmas, I'm like, I can finally maybe get that watch I've been wanting. Like, you know, it's the excitement of that. But if someone like really put their hard work into that and like gave me something like that, because based on that, like that would be the best thing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm actually there's Reddit, and then there's a separate website called Reddit Gifts, and it's a gift exchange website. And I think I was on literally an exchange on there called Snacks. And that was the whole thing, that I get matched with someone, and then someone gets matched with me, and then they have a quick bio. And all my bio is I have no allergies, go nuts. And I get a giant box of 6 different types of nuts. And he said, "You said go nuts." And it was pecans, it was honey roasted almonds.
So it's just like a gift exchange?
It's a gift exchange.
That's really kind of scary, though, if you're getting food from someone you don't know.
Well,
in the mail.
If you put it that way.
I watch too many shows of Criminal Minds, so I see all the weird.
But like, I mean, that kind of like the statistic of the kid getting the razor blade from the candy. That statistic was actually cherry picked, and it was his family. I totally
forgot about that.
And it was his family member who gave him that candy. The people are generally okay. I was about to say good. Generally speaking, I mean, 1 in 200,000. Would probably be crazy enough to go on a Reddit gift exchange, send someone peanuts they know they'll eat that are laced with something terrible.
I'm with you. I like to believe there's still good people out there. Maybe. Like, let's all hope there's still good people out there.
I'm hoping as well.
All right, guys. Also, before we go on any further, let's say go on YouTube and iTunes and review us, like us, subscribe to us, give us 5 stars if you like us, you know, follow us every week, things. All the good things, you know, we need your support.
Leave us comments.
So is there any more topics that you wanted to talk about before we get into news and gossip?
Oh wow, we're through the whole, well, it
was pretty
that was
basic,
pretty straightforward show.
Yeah, I mean, we got through pretty much the good moral lessons and the main topics. Yeah,
I think we can just move on to news and gossip. I hear you have some.
Yeah, I've got a little bit.
You always come prepared with the news and gossip.
So it's not a lot, and I'm sure that whoever watches Conan has already seen it, but Jessie Tyler Ferguson, who plays Mitchell, and Eric Stone Street, who plays Cam, they went to Eric Stone Street's old university, Kansas State University, and he wanted to visit his former frat house, but they decided to crash it at 2:30 in the morning, and they ended up just taking a bunch of pictures with a bunch of nude college students, which...
Wow.
I think this story is awesome. I love it when stars are still down to earth and they're still real people. Like, I would love, I mean, if I was in a fraternity, I'll probably go back to my college or something if I ever made it big. Like, I just love how they're still, like, they don't get that big head and they're not like, oh, I'm a star, so, you know. Like, I love how they're, like,
that's awesome.
they do that kind of stuff.
Like, when they come back and just, it's like, no, I just want to visit my old university. I actually have a dream that one day I'll have a show on or something big happening, and that morning, instead of doing press, I'll do a morning rush at the IHOP I worked at when I was 19. And people will just like, do I know you from somewhere? Nope, never. I gotta run 5 other tables. It's a rush.
It'd be crazy if someone remembered you from
That would be awesome. Like, that's a dream of mine, that it just, at one point in my life, I want to be huge, but still do overnight, or not overnight stock, but like the Target I used to work at. Just go back to that Target and work. Hi, can I help you find something? Are you on TV? I get that a lot. No.
That would be funny. And record it. You can make a TV show out of it.
Oh, totally.
All right. You want to move on to predictions?
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I love
so scary, just in time for Halloween.
I love when I was new here, someone brought me on and they specifically didn't tell me about that. And I just remember going, what's happening?
That's funny. So, what's your predictions?
They're gonna be a happy modern family. No, I'm kidding. I said I think Gloria's gonna go back to work.
Who?
Well, I said last week I think she might go back to work. Gloria, yeah. Why am I second guessing that? I was like, no, Gloria, that's the person. Pretty sure Alex is gonna fall in love with this Jason character. Pretty sure we're gonna get to see more of this Jason guy out in Boston. I feel like she ultimately, I don't know, I feel like she might wind up at MIT with him. That just feels like a bold prediction. That they're between those schools, but they don't know, and yeah, that's all I got.
I kind of predict the opposite. I think that Alex and Jason will end up at Cal State. Because I think she's going to stay closer to home because, obviously, I mean, they got to keep her close to home to keep Modern Family.
Yeah.
But, and because I think he's going to come there, too, because he had already talked about how much better of a school it is. So I think she's definitely going to go to school there. And I will keep my same prediction that Haley's website is or her fashion blog or whatever is going to, I think it's going to take off because I think we're past the college thing. I don't think she's going to go back.
I think she learned the lesson a lot of people learn from college, which is some people learn. I'm not very good at college.
College isn't everything.
Yeah.
I went to college, I got a degree, and I'm doing things that people who didn't get a degree are doing. So, it's great to learn, further your education, all the more power to you, but you can teach yourself too.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you can go to college, it's a great experience. So, yeah. Yeah.
And
so I guess that wraps this show up. So, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at Steve Kaufmann. That's KAUFMANN. And I host Gotham Monday nights. And if you're listening to this not live, there's a good chance I was mentioned on At Midnight on Comedy Central.
That's very cool. And I am Jessie Owen again, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Jessie Owen. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We'll see you next week, and we will have 2 new hosts joining us.
Full strength next week.
Yeah, so have a good week, guys. Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.